Hello, and welcome to EUTV Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports news from Evangel University and around the region. I'm Eric Patterson.
We'll also look at college football across the nation and check out the latest happenings in professional sports. I'm Kane Swasham, and this is Sports Update on EUTV.
Yeah, so football team competed on the road at Avila in Kansas City, Missouri this weekend.
Yeah, and then later on, we'll also take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs played the Jets this weekend, and so that was an interesting match, so we'll definitely take a look at that later. Valor Volleyball returned home on Saturday afternoon to face Tabor, looking to bounce back from a loss earlier in the week against College of the Ozarks. Evangel recorded 16 kills to Tabor's 7. Evangel finished the set 1 winning 25-19. Set 2 is not much different, and Evangel dominated 25-11. Evangel had a much more competitive third set. Tabor kept the lead the majority of the set and looked like they would make a fourth set happen, being up 22-18. Evangel came alive in the most crucial moment. Abby Menzies ended the set with a dominant play to push EU to victory, recording a pair of kills and a block with Viviana Sanchez to solidify Evangel's 25-23 come from behind victory and sweeping the Blue Jays 3-0.
On Saturday, the undefeated and number 18 Evangel Valor football team traveled north to face the Avila Eagles. Looking to keep rolling, RJ Wakely threw a 50-yard touchdown pass to receiver Dylan Hesser early in the quarter to put Evangel up. The Eagles would tie the game up at 6, but the Valor would not look back from there, scoring 38 unanswered points in a dominating fashion. Once again, the defense was astounding, getting 3 turnovers, including 2 interceptions. The Valor held conference passing leader Eli Williams to below average game as he threw for 173 yards and only 1 touchdown. On Friday, the men's and women's cross-country teams traveled to Fayetteville, Arkansas to compete in the well-known Chili Pepper Festival. Partnered with 90-degree weather and humidity, the high level of competition made it an uphill climb to start. But the Valor showed resiliency. Racing first, the men's race had over 270 athletes, and it was freshman Joshua Rust leading the Valor this meet, placing 45th and just seconds shy of running under 28 minutes. The Valor respectively placed 13th out of 30 teams, despite the heat. On the women's side, they were led by sophomore Macy Kopp, who ran 19:25, just 4 seconds off her personal record. Despite running without top runner Skylar Adams, the women's team ran well as they got bumped up to the Division I level, racing against teams such as Arkansas, TCU, and Oklahoma.
Evangel's women's soccer team traveled to Hillsboro on Saturday evening, looking to take their second consecutive conference win, this time against the Tabor Blue Jays. The Valor were strong offensively in the first 2 minutes, taking multiple shots on goal. But it was the Blue Jays who succeeded in goal, making it 1-0. Anna Crane had another strong shot opportunity right before half, but was unable to get it past Tabor's defense. Tabor scored an additional goal in the second half and keeping Evangel scoreless throughout the game, making it 2-0. Evangel's men's soccer hit the road to take on the Tabor Blue Jays on Saturday evening in Hillsboro, looking to build off their strong win from last weekend against the Bethany Swedes. Evangel's Igor Ovkovic recorded an early shot on goal in the first half, but the Tabor keeper recorded the save. It was Evangel's only shot on goal in the first half. Both teams remained scoreless at halftime. The Valor ramped up the pressure in the second half with a pair of opportunities, but both did not connect. The Valor defense played an exceptional second half, keeping Tabor from any real opportunities on goal. Evangel had an excellent chance in the final 20 seconds of the match, Arias put a shot on goal for the Valor that was blocked by the Tabor keeper, but Ted O'Carroll found the rebound and put the ball in the back of the net for what was seemingly a game winner for the Valor. But he was called offsides, taking the Valor's game-winning goal away. EU and Tabor played to a tie 0-0. So yeah, Evangel's men's soccer, they almost had that win, but unfortunately because of offsides, they had to end with a tie 0-0 against Tabor.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The football team played really well. They dominated Avila this weekend, moving to 6-0. Yeah. And also, they're on top of the division. We want to look at the standings for the KCAC conference. Look at the football team. Yeah, so Evangel's at top at 6-0. Also, Southwestern College is 6-0, so that's very close for us.
Yeah, and then we also have Frisda up right underneath them, which could also be competition later on in the future, which is also something to look forward to. But we're also doing very well. That is something to take note in as well for this new conference we're also in.
Yes. Coming up next, I'll be here with student-athlete Andreas Moeller to talk about the football season.
And later, we'll look at some of the most significant college games of their weekend and see if the Chiefs were able to pull out a win. We'll be right back.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Welcome back. I'm here with resident director and student-athlete Andreas Moeller. Thank you, Andreas, for being with us here today.
Well, thanks for having me, Eric.
You're welcome. So my first question for you today is, how does it feel to be back on the field after all these years?
I would say in a lot of ways it feels pretty surreal because I was out for 4 full seasons, so it had really been over 4.5 years since I had the pads on. So yeah, it was a pretty wild experience, and it was also really enjoyable because not a lot of men my age get to still have the opportunity to play a game a lot of us fell in love with as children.
So going off of that, what are some highlights as you're back on the field in this season after 4.5 years? So what are some highlights?
Yeah, so I feel like the team has a really good culture this year. I feel like the amount of buy-in from the guys is maybe even at an all-time high, and the brotherhood is really, really sincere. There's a strong group of upperclassmen leaders on the team, And we have some underclassmen who they seem to really be buying into what Evangel football is. And so that's definitely been a highlight to get to be a part of that dynamic in the locker room, on the field, and on the buses, to and from away games.
Yeah, and definitely being undefeated really helps, being a highlight as well.
Yes.
So also, what are some struggles that you faced this season? I know it's kind of hard being undefeated, but what are some struggles?
Yeah. With being undefeated, there's positive momentum that we have going. However, there have been some injuries, myself included. So a couple weeks ago, I took a hit to the knee and tore my ACL. So my future is, I'm still taking things one day at a time. But we have some other injuries on the team as well, such as Sammy Robinson, who was our starting running back at the start of the year. But I mean, that's the game of football. Football's a violent sport, and when you're out there competing against other strong, athletic young men who are also passionate, injuries happen.
Yeah, and also Eric Williams had a chance to shine this year as well, so that's also a good highlight for him.
Yes.
So how has the injury kind of affected you mentally? Have you been able to push through, and how are you able to support the team throughout it?
Yeah. So I've been able to support the team, I would say more so in a support and coaching role at this point. Just helping the guys, primarily on the defensive line, with different technique elements. And as far as how my injury has affected me, I would say that the story I had in my head for how this season was going to go and what my role was going to look like in it, I would say that narrative has definitely been thrown into the trash compactor for all the Star Wars fans out there and jettisoned out into space. But thankfully, I feel like God's been really, really good to me in helping me to interpret this injury and helping me to find a different source of, I would say, meaning as I move forward this football season, and what that looks like.
Yeah. This is your first season since 2016, or you started in 2016.
Yes.
So what are some things that are different this year versus when you first started?
Yeah. So the football program has definitely made some large updates. So one of the updates is they have drones which video all of the practices now, which when I first learned that they had made that update, I was amazed. Because we used to put people up in these janky boom lifts, and they'd have to video every practice that way. But also the technology and the safety equipment has improved. So we all have extra padding over the top of our helmets, which is shown to significantly reduce concussions and brain injuries. And I would also say that the fall camp is definitely different. It's less just mental toughness and fortitude training, and then half your team gets injured by the end of it. And it's more, I would say there's a more intentional learning and and helping everyone to understand what to do and what the plays are more thoroughly.
Yeah, so also this season's been unique for you as you're a resident director in Krause,
Yes.
and also taking your master's, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how are you been able to balance that along with football this year?
Some days I feel like I do it very, very well. Some days I feel like I can only really succeed in one or two of the different items which are on my plate. Being a husband, a father, a residence director, a master's student, and a football player. There are definitely times when it's a lot, but so far, there have been things which have slipped through the cracks, but I haven't felt I haven't felt like I've dropped the ball on too many things. And God's definitely really been helping me, and sometimes he'll just kind of clue me in on, hey, you have some time to do this right now as opposed to this. So relying on the Holy Spirit, extremely effective life strategy.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Andres, for being with us today. Best of luck to you and your season and the football team on this record-breaking season. Coming up, we'll look at some of the college games and updates from the weekend in the NFL. Stay tuned.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So
Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap snacks Sunday. All the healthy children eat well and move a lot. And move a lot. And move a lot. Eat well and move a lot.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day.
Skip a rope Saturday, freeze tag Friday, tap dance Thursday.
Whole grains Wednesday, try a veggie Tuesday. Let's move Monday, split the sweet Sunday.
Eat well and move a lot. Today is Saturday. Yeah. Today is Saturday. All the healthy children, all the healthy children.
Get ideas. Get involved. Get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Notre Dame traveled to Durham, North Carolina on Saturday to face the Duke Blue Devils. This is the second week in a row College Game Day has featured the Fighting Irish. Notre Dame dominated the first half, 10-0, before the Duke fought back in the second, scoring 2 touchdowns to take the 14-13 lead. Duke quarterback Riley Leonard left it all on the line and left the game in its final seconds with what looked like a brutal ankle injury. Unlike last week, Notre Dame was on the winning end of a last-second game-deciding drive. Hartman brought the Fighting Irish from the 5-yard line to the end zone, including a huge 4th down conversion on a 4th and 16. The Fighting Irish beat the Blue Devils 21-14.
Two very good Pac-12 teams battled on Friday night as number 19 Oregon State hosted number 10 Utah at Reser Stadium. Coming into the game, still missing their star quarterback Cam Rising, who has yet to play this season, Utah knew they had to compete. The Utes' defense kept the game close, only giving up 1 touchdown in the first half despite not scoring themselves. In the second half, Clemson transfer quarterback DJ Uiagalelei led the Beavers to a 14-0 lead, and they would stand firm from there to get the major upset, 21-7. In Lucas Oil Stadium on Sunday, the Indianapolis Colts faced the Los Angeles Rams in a game between two teams who were still trying to find themselves. While the spread coming into the game was 1 point, the Rams started out fast, scoring the first 23 points. Kyron Williams had a massive quarter with 2 rushing touchdowns and close to 100 yards rushing. But for some reason, even being up 3 scores, they could not close out the Colts. Rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson led the rally, running in a touchdown and throwing for a 2-point conversion. Richardson followed that up with 2 more touchdowns and a 2-point conversion, and all of a sudden it was a tied game going into overtime. But the Rams would take it personally, as rookie Puka Nacua caught his first NFL touchdown on the first drive of overtime to secure the victory 29-23.
The Kansas City Chiefs traveled to New York to take on the Jets. The game brought out many A-list celebs, including Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and many others. The game appeared to be a blowout, with Kansas City racing to a 17-0 lead after 1 quarter. But the Jets defense routed Mahomes for much of the game, recording a safety and intercepting him twice to take it to tie at 20-20. Harrison Bucker hits a 26-yard chip shot to put the Chiefs back in front. Kansas City was able to pull off the win, 23-20, defeating the Jets. So yeah, the Chiefs played the Jets this weekend, and that was a really tight game. Most of the game, well, it really wasn't at first. It was 17-0. The Chiefs were ahead by a lot, and then at the very end, the Chiefs were able to pull it off.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but Zach Wilson was the first quarterback to face Patrick Mahomes in college or NFL to have fewer interceptions, more passing yards, more completions, and more touchdowns. So he really played really well. And then also the Monday Night Football game, Seahawks versus Giants, it was a blowout. And Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith was very upset with a hit. He got hit late. He was not very happy. He kind of got injured with that one.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of controversy right now with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Travis Kelce and the Taylor Swift. Everyone's calling them America's team because all the women are watching college NFL football for like the first time. And so there's just a bunch, everybody's watching it. And so Travis Kelce's having 400% more jersey sales than ever before, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll have the EUTV Player of the Week.
We'll also have your upcoming Evangel Games of the Week. We'll be right back.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we have pep talkers standing by to get you motivated for your GED diploma. Get your GED Pep Talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
It's not his new group of friends, the video games, or the neighborhood.
Mom, do I have to go to school today?
The biggest threat to your child's future could be you. Every day they miss puts their graduation at risk.
It's been a great week for the Valor competitions and sports this week.
It has, and I'm really looking forward to see how they'll compete in this upcoming week as well. EUTV has the opportunity to showcase one of our very own student athletes, which is a really cool opportunity this program has.
Yes, so let's look for our EUTV Sports Player of the Week.
This week's EUTV Player of the Week is Joshua Rust. Rust is a freshman from Wayneship, Utah. Joshua is a member of the men's cross country and track team. Joshua finished first for the Evangel cross country team at their meet at the Chili Pepper Festival. Rush finished an 8K with a time of 28 minutes and 4 seconds. This is also a personal record for him. He finished 45th out of over 270 other athletes. This was Rush's first meet of the season due to an injury.
Evangel football will be undefeated again this week as they have no game.
Men's and women's soccer compete Wednesday, October 4th at St. Mary, women at 5, men at 7:30, and then the women will also compete October 7th at 2 p.m. versus Bethel at home.
The volleyball team has 2 games, Wednesday, October 4th at 7 p.m. versus St. Mary at home, and Saturday, October 7th, 1 p.m. at Bethel.
And then men's and women's cross country will compete Friday, October 6th at the Border Wars in Elsa, Illinois, women at 5:45, men at 6:30. Go Evangel Valor!
Yes, there's a lot of different games this week. The Evangel football team will be undefeated again as they're on a bye. And then the volleyball team is at home, so go watch them.
Yeah, and then women's soccer also plays at home on Saturday, which is also something that everyone can go out and support.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time that we have for Sports Update today. We invite you to check out euvalormedia.com for all the latest Evangel news and media. I'm Kaden Twasham.
And I'm Eric Patterson. Be sure to join us next week as we bring you the latest in sports news. For more information on Evangel Sports, go to evangelathletics.com. This has been Sports Update on EUTV.